think newspapers work. This is the last of CLAT content for you. I let the mock you. I don't know why I did that. Hello. Welcome back to my channel. I am Shirin HOssain and I got AIR 553 in CLAT 2023, and I wanted to give you guys all my self-studying tips, tricks and all the resources that I actually used for CLAT. I don't know why I did that. Let's get started. I'm gonna do it like section wise, so like all the sections of the CLAT exam, and I'm gonna go by that. Okay, so yeah, the first section is English, and for English there's one book that is recommended for vocabulary building, which is Word Form A to Z. This is not my fault, okay? Like, this book is 2 decades old. My father tried to teach me this when I was in class 5, and I screamed, which I think is an appropriate response to if your father tries to teach you this book in class 5. But yeah, I definitely think this book is great. Okay, like, this book is great for vocabulary building. This has some great materials, and I think it's very effective in the way that it teaches. But if you're watching this video in December or November and your exam is like in 1 month, don't bother to do this book. But if you're watching it now, you can definitely do it. There's nothing wrong with it. Even if this doesn't come directly in help with your CLAT, this is going to help you in the longer run with your English vocabulary. So yeah, I would heavily recommend this book if you want to do this book and if you have the time, because you can't finish this book in 1 day. Okay, like, this requires time and patience and a lot of like using your brain, which is something that I struggle with quite a bit. Now, coming to the second thing which you can do for English, which is basically pay attention in your mocks. When you're giving a mock, just think of the kind of topics and the kind of passages that you don't understand, and those are the topics and passages that you need to read more of. So for example, sports, I could not understand half the stuff. I don't understand sports lingo much. One. Another was economics. I have never taken economics in my life, so economics passages were generally a little difficult for me to take up. So these are like some passages that were difficult. So what I would do is I would read like the business section of the newspaper, the sports section. There's nothing really that you can do in English except like the mock you, which is a running joke that I had the entire year. That's how I went through every bad mock score. Coming to the second section, which is GK. Now, I have a very controversial take when it comes to GK, which basically is, I don't think newspapers work. And I'll allow me to make my case, okay, as a future lawyer, and if you are watching this video as a law aspirant. First of all, the CLAT exam, the last 2 to 3 years have shown that most of the topics are not very contemporary related, and even if they are, the things that they ask are from a lot of the background of the topic and just like very tangential topics, you know, like if they're talking something about like the Middle East conflict and the passages about, let's say, the Syria crisis, they can bring in other stuff. Like, they can bring the Saudi-Iran issues, they can bring the Arab Spring, they can bring like a lot of other tangential stuff which might not be directly related to the crisis that is ongoing right now, which are obviously linked, but then it's very difficult for you to be able to take all of that with using newspaper as your primary source. I think only time I would say that the newspaper is helpful is if you are very slow in reading, or if you do not, like, if you're not able to comprehend English very fast. You can use newspaper. That is the best way to improve your vocabulary as well as increase your reading speed and your ability to comprehend words, because CLAT requires it. That is what CLAT is. CLAT is literally a race against time. You have to solve so many passages within this frame of 120 minutes. So yes, it is quite difficult to read so many passages and comprehend it, interpret it and answer questions. So definitely I would say newspapers can be useful for that. But if you don't have that issue, if you're able to finish almost all your mocks, I will not say waste your time sitting and reading the newspaper 1 hour, 2 hours. So many people have that, because really as an aspirant your time is very limited, so don't waste your time doing all of that. Apart from that, if you really want to know good like if you really need like current affair resources and notes in a way that is necessary for you, here are some creators that I really like. First is Keshav Malpani and second is Divya Garg. They are both unacademy educators. They have their own channel on YouTube. I think Keshav Malpani's channel is called 12 Minutes to CLAT. I don't remember what Divya Garg's channel is called, but I will leave it. They also teach a lot of free classes in unacademy as well, and they're really great people. I have spoken to them in person, like on chat and stuff, and they're really amazing people, and they give you all the recent, I think instead of like reading like newspaper, like you can definitely use the newspaper as a primary source, but if you really want to know like the topic and like its background and everything, they definitely present you everything, and you can make your notes from their free classes. They are really amazing. I would definitely recommend. Other channels that you can also see would be like UPSC channels. UPSC, even though I would say with UPSC, just remember one thing, that UPSC is more subjective because of the mains paper. So a lot of the content that is on UPSC is really for you to, you know, write passages and stuff, which is not what is required in your exam. So just if you're watching, let's say, any UPSC video for any current affair, just take the main just take like the objective details. So just like take the date, the numbers, the statistics, and etc, or the names of the main locations and stuff. And if you want to like refer to UPSC sources, you can follow this channel called Study IQIS, which has a lot of these channels. So I would just subscribe, and if there's any topic that I feel like, yeah, it's relevant, then you can definitely just see that video and make quick notes. Other than that, there's also this channel called Parcham Classes. I also think I don't know if they are just UPSC, if they're for UPSC or what, but basically they have, like, every month they include this 3 or 4 part series of current affairs, where they, like, one part is about like current affair news, one part is about the important days and dates, which is very, very important. You should watch that video, because important days and dates do come in CLAT a lot. Military exercises, etc, like, they do have all these videos, so you can definitely follow, because they give you like a compilation. Apart from that, magazines are also great. I had magazines from Law Prep. I have not had an Academy's magazine, but I did have Legal Edge ka magazine. I also had, I don't know, like some other channel, I don't know, I had a couple of magazines, okay, from different people. I definitely liked Law Prep's magazine a lot, because they had pictures, and I'm a 5-year-old. But yeah, like, you can definitely just see whichever ones. Most of these magazines are given to you if you purchase any mock test series and stuff, which is definitely something I would recommend. Like, if you want to spend any money on CLAT, I would suggest buy mock test series, because that is what is going to help you, because without mock test, there's no way in hell you're going to be able to crack this exam. This is something I'm going to tell you straight away.
Okay, so editing Shirin here. So I just wanted to say that there's also a couple of free magazines like Vision IS and Drishti IS that you can get. Now, they obviously focus on UPSC, so you have to tailor the content a little bit, but they are also great choices as well.
Just before your CLAT, there's a lot of YouTube channels that had that were doing these GK marathons. Like, most of these, like, legal CLAT coaching channels, they were doing these GK marathons and stuff. I think there was another channel called Vidya Gadi. I don't know, I'll put the name, okay, on the screen. They were really good. They had a lot of like marathons and stuff that they did for CLAT 2023. I assume they're going to do it for 2024 as well. You can definitely watch them. They're free, they're on YouTube. It's very easy, and I definitely liked a lot of their content. It was really great for, you know, sort of doing like a revision. I would not say they should be like your primary source of GK, but they're great for like revision and stuff. Now, coming to my notes, I'm going to show you my notes. But if any of you make fun of my bad handwriting or how unaesthetic my notes are, this is the last of CLAT content for you, and take this as a threat, because this is a threat. Okay, see, so this is how the file looked for my GK thing. This is obviously very, very messy, and I mean, that's how it becomes after a point. But as you can see, this is how the files is. I preferred binders, and this is how it looked. Just to give you an example of a page, this was the most neat page I could find, and I would just like write the topic, just underline it, and then just continue writing. This just gave me an extremely great opportunity to just see the topic at a glance, see what is important, and that's it. Now, I just want to show you a couple of other pages which I think were also really important. Now, this was my index. I just wrote the names with the page numbers, and as you can see, these highlights were for, you know, different reports and sports and prizes and stuff. That was, I guess, what I was trying to do. This one is actually a very interesting page. This page, whenever I would give a mock and I would come across a topic that I didn't really basically know about, so I would just come back home and write it here, and I would just strike it off when I would finish writing it. So this became almost sort of like a running list of topics I'm supposed to do. And this was my page for all the days and dates. I think there's also this is some magazine stuff. This was some military exercises that I had. So yeah, this is how I did. There's also a lot of pages. I don't want to show you everything, but yeah, this was how I essentially kept all my notes. Now, coming to my legal and logical section, there is one channel on YouTube. Again, I'm going back to Unacademy. I swear they have not sponsored me, but there is this channel on YouTube called Unacademy Law, and they have a lot of like legal reasoning and logical reasoning classes. You can go through their playlist and see they have like Hindu marriage law, Muslim marriage law, law of torts, criminal law. Like they have all these playlists up there. You can just watch, find a creator. There's I think 3-4 creators who do this. Just follow some of them and just watch that entire playlist. You will have a very good idea and grasp. But if you don't want to do that, then I do have a book recommendation for you. That is LA and LR. This book is by Pearson. This is how the book is, as you can see. I'm not recommending this book as like this is, if you are using this book, still follow those channels. I definitely think those channels are doing a great job. But this book is really great if you sort of like, if you're somebody who like likes to study, like read instead of like watch. So yeah, also there's like a lot of questions and stuff that they have in the back from the old CLAT pattern, which I still think you should do because they definitely help even with the new CLAT pattern, even though it's not 100% how it was. But yeah, this is great. So like now coming to logical reasoning. For logical reasoning, I don't have any books. I'm again going to recommend you just the Unacademy Law channel. They also have logical reasoning classes also. But another book that I have is for analytical reasoning, is basically this book called Analytical Reasoning by M.K. Pandey. Now this book, what I like is that it has a, now this is not the CLAT pattern, okay, but it has these chapters for like assumptions and a lot of others like strengthening and weakening of arguments, basically questions that you get in your CLAT but without the passages. Okay, so like it tells you how to do it, even though with the pattern it's a little different. But if you read this book, you will be able to sort of have a guide on how to approach these questions. So I would definitely say do this book thoroughly, and you should see an improvement in how you process your reasoning questions. Now coming to maths. Now maths is that section which a lot of people don't really know what to do, and I was one of them. Okay, there's this one book called 18 Days Wonder by S. Chand that you can do. I didn't do it, so I'm not saying anything. I was actually good at maths. I had maths in my class too, so even though I got like probably 4 or 5 in maths, because maths section was really bad in class last year. But I would definitely say you can do that. But apart from that, a lot of times CLAT is also known to give you a little like out of the box questions that you don't really think would come, and something like more like, you know, the banking type of questions like train problems, boats and streams and stuff like that. So I actually have this playlist I will link down from this channel called Fresher World. They have this aptitude series. I will link it down. You can go and you can watch that series. That there's a lot of questions. There's some which are like the logarithmic stuff that you don't need to focus, but most of their aptitude series is applicable. You can definitely watch the videos. They give you tips and tricks on how to solve these questions. So yeah, you can definitely do that. Now I have actually told you everything. Let me know if you want like more CLAT content, like study tips, how to study smart, not hard, etc, etc. I am more than willing to make more videos regarding this, but these were all the resources that I used. If I have missed anything, let me know. I will put that down in the description. If I have missed anything, how would you know? But whatever. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you like this, and I hope you subscribe and follow, and also share this with other people who are giving CLAT, because YouTube algorithm is not my best friend, as I understood from my last video. So yeah, bye. Thanks for watching.